Good evening, everybody. Tonight I am going to try and get a couple RDCs up and running again. This is a Santa Fe. You can see the trucks are falling out of it. Got some nasty rubber band residue there. And I have, it never fails when people send these to me. A lot of them, these trucks aren't put together properly, and they won't turn, they're like stuck in one direction. They won't do the full pivot the other direction. Like this one here goes both ways, like that. It goes way over this way and then it curves that way. This will not make the full pivot. And problem is, if you remember that GP7, GP9 uses, it's a rubber band drive, so this metal plate, brass plate, needs to be connected to this screw, not that screw. And then it'll have more freedom of movement. So this is a Santa Fe RDC-1, and this one is a, let's see what the box says. The box here says that it is a Bev Bell Corp 2602 Lehigh Valley RDC-1 powered. So these come powered or as a dummy. And the dummy units have a thin axle here, so it free rolls and rides behind the powered one. The powered ones typically, these actually, the RDCs actually did run in pairs at times, but the way these are designed, they actually have two tank diesel motors. When I say tank, I mean like military tanks. They took the old diesel motors out of tanks after World War II, and they put the two of them inside here. That way, if one died, quit running, the other diesel motor could get them to their destination. But these typically ran solo or in pairs, or one of these would pull 2 or 3 passenger cars. So this one started coming apart on me. And you can see here that these bands here actually hook. This is how the electricity gets to the motor. It goes from this, through this band, from these wheels here, up to the motor here. And then this side, wheels on this side, are grounded, and the electricity gets to the motor from there. So let's take a quick look at this motor. I have not tested that one at all. I did take a look at this motor, and it did run, this Lehigh, the Lehigh Valley, it did run when I first tested it. And like I said, power goes through the ground and through this. And there we go. And you can see how these drive shafts move. They spin just like on the GP. And I mentioned the difference between the GP and the RDC is the RDC has a fork right there. So this rod fits right into that cork. So it's actually easier to, after you put the rubber bands on there, you can literally, oh, that spring pops off, you can actually pull this out, pull the rubber bands through, and just slide this through and connect it. So, but I'll be showing you guys all that after I get the new rubber bands on this. So I'm going to do a little cleaning here before we start putting the new bands on it. Okay, I started cleaning it up, and the wheels and everything cleaned up pretty nicely, but we got these little boogers of old rubber band stuck on here. It's like taking a bit of honey off braces. Well, maybe it's harder to get bit of honey or a Tootsie Roll out of braces. I remember somebody had to go through that in 6th grade. At summer camp, they ate a Tootsie Roll or a bit of honey and got it caught in their braces. And one of the other kids had to do little candy surgery on the other students' braces. Okay. So that's pretty clean. Getting a little picky here now. Okay. So soft. There's not enough left there to interfere with the operation. But let's go ahead and scrape that clear. All right, that's done. I'm going to get to the rubber bands. So this fits in here like that. Okay. So we got good action both ways now on that. So let's pull that back out and replace our rubber bands. Okay, so another little booger down there. All right, that's gone. Okay. Let's take this part and start putting our new rubber bands on. So, if you remember on the other GP7 and GP9, there was a ground wire here that connected the wheels. Connected the wheels by way of a ground wire or a wire to the motor, but this uses a different. Need a tinier screwdriver for that screw. This is a different process for transferring that electricity. So I got that off, and I'll get that off. What I try to do is I take it off, to make sure I put this back on right, is I put these opposite each other like that. So this will screw there and that will screw on there. So that's too small for these. Okay, where are my rubber bands? Here we go. These are my HO Locomotive drive belts. black number 50. That's what I use for all of my RDCs. And I've come across a few rubber band drive locomotives like that GP7, so I've seen some F7s too, but I just wanted to let you see where I get these from. They're from scalerailroader.com and Hagerstown, Maryland. So there's the information, and this is who I get all my drive belts for in bulk now. Actually, do you think I'm going to need that for very many? Unless I'm going to have nothing but a fleet of doodlebugs. I think I'm set with that quantity of rubber bands. So let's start putting these on here and getting this thing back running again. I need to find something smaller that this truck will fit into, because it's smaller than a GP. Smaller than a GP7, GP9 as far as its overall length. So this roll of electric tape that came in so handy on the GP7, the GP9 is not quite as handy here. So, all right. Get that started. Come on. There we go. I got that one in place. And just, there we go. There goes my fingers. There we go. And now I've got that one in place. So that one's ready. So I'm not going to make you sit through a whole nother set of rubber band installations. So I'm going to put the other one, I'm going to pause this and put the other one together, and then I'll show you how I put the rest of the doodlebug together. Okay, so now I've got new rubber bands on both sets of trucks, and I know this locomotive is going to need some more work besides the drive bands, because the coupler over here has no spring to it, as well as this one over here. So that little brass piece I see in there could suggest that there's a spring in there, but it's damaged. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get these rubber bands on this drive shaft. So let's try and do this without my big hands blocking the camera too much. So turn it up to the left, pass that through, Get this other rubber band here up, turn it to the left, pass it through. Come on, you can do it. There we go. And drive bands are in place on this end. There we go. Now let's work on this end here. Pull that off and get my clamp here. I've got see, there it is. That rubber band up and to the left. I don't know why I always go left, but I always go left. Lift it up to the left. There we go. And connect my drive shaft. I got my bands in place here and here, here and here. Now this spring is what conducts the electricity to the motor from the ground, from the wheels that connect to this. It's there. Clip it on there. Hooks under that. I tend to pull these in a little, twist them a little. Sure we have good contact. All right, so now let's put some electricity to that and see if the wheels start moving on us. Oh, yep, it's moving. Okay, let me see if I got a section of track here I can test with. Okay, so I did just have a couple pieces of track here. I just want to see if electricity conducts, is traveling through here very good. Ooh, that's going. That's going. Forward. Back. Okay, so this is the Lehigh Valley, and just to give you some pointers on these, if you ever see one of these and it says it's untested and or the motor runs but the locomotive doesn't move, a lot of the times it's just drive bands. Also dirt here, and any corrosion. I mean, I've seen these where this whole band is rusted, and I didn't want to spend money on a replacement band, so I just sanded it with fine sandpaper, cleaned it super nice, got all the corrosion off of it, and got it running again. Also, on the motor, there's going to be somebody out there that knows more about motors than I do. But this little area right here where the brushes in the motor are here and here, this can get really black and you'll get bad electrical transfer, conductivity through there. So I clean that really good with a rag with alcohol, and I'm using regular isopropyl alcohol, 91% this time, as opposed to that 80% liquor, 80% alcohol liquor distillery alcohol that I acquired that requires extra ventilation. I'm thinking that that alcohol and maybe some leftover vodka I have might be I might find good use to apply it, use it for applying landscaping on my train layout. So anyway, so that's the Athern, Lehigh, and Valley. And I just want to take this one apart real quick, just look inside to see if it's identical or if there's a little difference to it, because this paper tray that it came in wrapped in with rubber band and stuck in a cardboard box is the same kind of tray that appears inside the Athern box. So I'm pretty sure this is a Athern unit. Everything about it is pretty much identical. And I'm having, usually these are the two clips there. So if you pull this out of the way, take a thin flathead screwdriver there, and another thin flathead screwdriver there. This will lift right out. Okay, take a quick look at the inside. Well, if you take a look, you can really see the grime right there. So I'm going to do a lot of cleaning on that grime. And that's the kind of corrosion I told you about on the band. So I'm going to have to clean that up really good, get some fine sandpaper, clean that spot. Those just to help. This is where the where this truck would connect, and as you can see, there's a lot of corrosion on it. So this is going to need a lot more work than the Lehigh Valley, but I'll get this working, put new bands on it, and we'll get both of them out on the track for a test ride as soon as possible. So till we can get this out on the track, I'll get working on this, and I'll see you guys then on the track. Okay guys, I'm back after working on the Santa Fe. I originally didn't think I was going to bother showing you all the work that was going to go into it, but now that I'm done, I found so many things on here that I wanted to bring to your attention. I already told you about this area of the shaft. You can see the discolorization. It was really black there, so I had to clean that really good. The wheels on the underside, I had more caked on old bands on this than on the other one. The metal band across the top that transfers the electricity from here to make it run. You saw how corroded that was, so I sanded it and cleaned it up really good. So, woo, hey, look at that. I missed a spot. So I still need to get that cleaned up. I'll do that in a second. But also, something I want you to see. I don't know how well the camera is going to capture this, but underneath here, you will see this little piece on the right there. That is what transfers electricity from the chassis to the motor. So let me zoom back out a little bit more here, and I'll show you. This just has a little rubber connector piece here. pops into those holes, and I want you to see this. These two little bands that tip up. This one here on the right was barely touching, and this one over here was bent way up, had no contact at all. So when I connected the motor, the wires to the motor, it was kind of coming on, going off, kind of chatterboxing on me. So I tilted those out and squeeze it back in place, and I can zoom back in again. You can barely see in there that that's connecting on that end, and that's connecting on that end. So I will zoom out here, and I do need to clean that little area there, but I'm going to put this on here just to test everything out. Connect my bands, or my knuckle things there, these metal bands to these metal contacts. Sometimes you gotta bend these up a little more, make them a little more springy, so you get good contact here. I sometimes will tilt these in a little more so they have good contact. Tilt it that way too. Over here, slip that in. That looks almost short. Let me see if I turn this around, if I'll get equal distribution. Oh, that's actually shorter that way. Come back here, put that baby on there. This, I'm gonna tilt that back a little more, give us some good contact there. And put my track down. Still gotta remember to clean that one contact there. And let's just see how this baby goes. Whoa! Turn the power down. Well, we know it's working. Turn that down. Tuck this in over there. So, all right. So this thing is a little jerky. But it'll make a nice slow running, smooth running RCD. Keep going. Come on, you can do it. There we go. So I'm going to stop there. Clean the one contact that I neglect to fix, clean properly on the back side there. Put this thing back together, pop the shell on it, and next time we see this in the Lehigh Valley, they will be out on the track. Okay, everybody, we are at the test track. This is the number 40 Lehigh Valley RDC-1 Blue Box Special by Athearn. Was it a Blue Box Special or just Athearn Blue Box? Anyway, I grew up on a lot of Blue Box kits when I was a kid. So let's give this baby a test run. And she's off. Okay, we are looking at the Santa Fe now. Let's get this thing moving. And there she goes. Moving at a nice speed. See how slow I can get it going. That's moving nice. I like that slow speed there. It's having a little bit of a hiccup there electrically. Can't wait to get this layout built so I can have all my trains running on a finished layout. I am very much enjoying the progress of working on it. And here it comes. Ah, yes, very nice.